I'm mad I just missed 2 fish in a row. Welcome to a special Average Ontario Anglers podcast live on the water edition. This is something that you guys have asked for us a few times, and we've never done it because we're afraid to record on the boat because, you know, audio equipment on the boat, scary, right, Andrew?
Absolutely. And if you hear any like strange heavy breathing, it's because I'm not concentrating on how I'm breathing. I'm concentrating on working a bait.
Exactly. But we have some nice wireless mics now, so we are out on the water in the Sports Pal, and we are doing what, Andrew, today?
We are musky fishing.
Yes.
And successfully, I might add.
Yes, we'll get into that in a bit. It's actually right at the end of October now. The water is a frigid 47 degrees, which, is that too cold, Andrew, to catch fish?
Evidently not.
Evidently not. And believe me, there's still a lot of opportunity yet coming in the 2025 fishing season. We're going to talk a little bit about that too. So don't put away your boat. Don't put away your rods and reels. But instead of an interesting fishing fact today, we're going to talk a little bit about what we're doing today on the water. We're having a musky fishing day, as Andrew said, and we are fishing a river, which is something we are doing in the Sports Pal because in the Sports Pal, Andrew, we don't like going on big water, especially when it's freezing cold, because what happens if we fall in?
Hypothermia.
We die. We die. So make sure you're careful out there. There are some guys and girls out there that do some pretty intense kayak fishing in the winter even. But they generally are wearing some nice wetsuits
or dry
suits,
which is amazing,
to stay warm if they do fall in, because it is potentially a dangerous situation. But what we're doing today is pretty safe. We're in some pretty frigid water, but the Sports Pal, again, is very, very stable. Me and Andrew are both standing right now. We're musky fishing. We're figure eighting off the side of the boat. We're scooping up muskies. And so far, we haven't tipped in. And in fact, this is the 4th year using the Sports Pal. 4 full years, over 100 trips in it, and we have never fallen off this boat.
Never flipped ever. This canoe.
Yeah, it's pretty much just like a thin John boat. But what we're doing today is we have what we call the bluebird sky of death today. Anytime me and Andrew book a day off to go fishing, it is always so-called the worst conditions to catch muskie. It's bluebird sky, calm water, sunny, and during the summer that would generally just turn me off. But this time of year when it's cold, I find we have some good days when it's bluebird because the sun's shining, it warms up the water a bit, and these lethargic fish, they start to move around a bit.
It also gives us the opportunity to actually record, because if it was windy and it was, a little bit overcast and stuff like that, and we'd be focused more on boat control, the noise quality would be far less.
Yeah.
Or the sound quality for the podcast. So this is kind of a fun opportunity to be able to, like I said, be on the water, doing a lot, not a live for you guys, but recording while actively fishing, which is, that was kind of when it started with the podcast too, of wouldn't it be fun if we could, we talk all day while fishing or driving places, and that's what you want people to listen to. And you try to do that in the studio when we're recording, but now you're getting real, raw anglers.
It'd be funny though if we weren't actually fishing at all. We were just pretending and making fishing noises in our studio.
All they're hearing is like the classic zzz, grrr, like reeling sounds from a 2000 video game.
So our goal today, well, we've already met our goal. Our goal is to catch one muskie. Our first goal is always to see a muskie. That's always our first goal. That's always something cool, even if you don't catch one.
And I achieved that pretty much right off the bat.
Yeah.
We saw one right in the shallows, going after some suckers, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and then we were like, okay, that's a good sign. We always say that's a good sign. But within about an hour of fishing, I ended up catching not a huge one, but a 37 inch.
36, I believe. No, I think it was 37. 37. We have photos. We'll review.
Yep, 37 inch on a glide bait. So the water is cold. So the technique that we're using today is we're using slow baits. We're using glide baits. You cast them out and you kind of jerk them in. Just like a suic almost, but you have a side-to-side action, which fish really like this time of year because you can fish it really slow. And when you hang them, when you stop twitching them, they kind of just slowly sink. And the fish this time of year, they're not overly aggressive or their metabolism is really low because the water's frigid. So they don't want to chase a fast-moving bait. So you have a lot of action to attract them, but then you have a lot of pauses, which gives them the opportunity to come up and eat the fish or the bait. So that's what worked today for me. I was using a 7.5 inch glide bait with a twister tail on the back, and I had one absolutely decimate the thing, which was great. But now Andrew's using a glide bait because that's what was working, and I'm using a dive and rise bait. And a dive and rise bait, why don't you explain that one, Andrew?
So dive and rise are always fun because especially, like Jesse said, we're fishing a river. We're still finding lots of nice green weeds, and when there's green weeds, you want to fish them. But the dive and rise is a pull-pause bait. So you pull it, it'll dive down, and it'll slowly rise up. And you can weight certain ones so they can either sink or have a slow rise or a faster rise coming up. But it's really nice because depending on how fast or how long your pause is between that jerking motion, you can fish really shallow water, or you can keep it down deep and fish things a little bit deeper. So it is versatile. Your speed will change on retrieve without changing bait, without changing the weight of the bait. You can vary your speed and then access different depths of water, which is really cool. And again, because we're fishing, like this area here has a lot of like a deep hole, but it's not huge. It's not like a large lake basin. So within the span of 5 minutes drifting down the river, you're going to be fishing a range of 20 feet to
2 feet.
5 feet. Yeah. So it's nice to have something that you're not constantly changing baits all the time. So we're trying to use baits that we can effectively fish a range of depths just to give us better use of our time here on the water today.
Absolutely. And if you're someone that is trying not to buy too many baits, if you're getting into musky fishing, a dive and rise bait with a weight kit is, in my opinion, a huge, huge necessity. Because like Andrew said, you can buy one bait, you can take all the weight out, fish it shallow. When you fish a bit deeper, you just, grab the little weight out of your tackle box, screw it in, and you can fish down up to 10 feet down. So instead of buying 3 or 4 baits that do multiple depths, you can buy one bait with a weight kit, which again might cost a little more than buying, a bait without a weight kit. But in the long run, that extra few bucks gives you more versatility instead of buying 4 baits, which will cost way more money. So yeah, we're actually just drifting over right now this little rock bar. We were fishing in 20 feet. Now we're up to about 2 feet.
Yep.
That's why these little rivers, you have to be careful if you're driving your boat with an outboard motor, because these shallow areas, they come out of nowhere. And a lot of guys will tell you that's how they lost the bottom end of their motor.
And especially right now, like we're past the peak fall colors. So most of the trees are bare or mostly bare. And you'll have, again, because it's a calm day, all these leaves are floating nicely on the surface of the water. Beautiful, picturesque. But now you can't really differentiate. If you're driving along, you can't differentiate between some dying lily pads on the surface or a bunch of just like nice fall colored leaves on the surface.
Yeah.
So the whole river can kind of look the same. So you really have to stay on your toes for any time of year, but this one especially, like there's so many things that can look similar, and it could be 100 feet of water, or it could be 2 or 1 or none. It could be rocks.
Yep, there's rocks. There'll be a rock the size of a pickup truck floating 6 inches underneath the surface in 20 feet of water 5 feet away from it.
Yes, the floating rocks.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they come out of nowhere. I actually smoked a rock with my sports pal, my little Suzuki. 2 weekends ago, I was fishing with Ben from Paddleheads. We were fishing a little stretch of a musky river, and yeah, I had a rock come out of nowhere and give my little outboard a kiss on the bottom. It jumped up, gave us a little bit of a scare because we weren't expecting it. It came out of nowhere. But my prop is fine. It just hit the bottom of the skeg, and again, my sports pal, it doesn't go fast enough that I don't think I'd ever be able to break off my lower end. But if you're going like an Andrew's new boat, going 60 kilometers an hour down the river, and you smoke a rock, yeah, it's gonna break in half.
And if anyone is out there thinking, why are they in the sports pal instead of Andrew's new boat?
Yeah, that's a good question. Why are we? I'm wondering that myself. It is cold today, man.
It is. It would be nice to have a bit more space, a bit more stability. But yeah, I had to do a couple repairs on my boat. Again, I purchased it used, so a couple of the main repair has been done, which is fantastic on the hull. I have a couple more little pieces of decking, a couple hatches I need to swap out. So it just wasn't quite ready yet for this weekend. So we had this kind of as a backup to have this location, which is far more sheltered, smaller water. We stay close to the launch and stuff like that and still fish in the sports pal. But next week, we do have plans to take my boat out. And so hopefully we'll be having some musky in the big boat.
Yeah. I hope that I'm the first guy to catch a muskie in Andrew's boat, just to show dominance.
I hope not. If he does, I'm going to make Jesse buy gas for my boat for the rest of the year.
Oh, I can't afford it.
Next year.
I'm poor. We're called the average Ontario anglers, not the rich Ontario anglers.
Actually, one really fun thing we had today happen was, besides, this is our first time Jesse and I actually fishing this stretch of this river.
Yeah.
And we're so far really impressed with how it looks. Again, Jesse caught one already. We've seen another, and we're just just starting kind of on this area. So we have a lot of fishing still to do in this river today. So hopefully, ideally during this podcast, you'll hear some noise, ear-shattering yelling and shouting. It's because one of us is hooked up to another one. But
Yeah.
at least you'll know we're not chances are if you hear yelling, we're not dying and falling in. We're catching a musky.
Yes. Hopefully a big one.
So we'll let you know. But when we first arrived to this river, we're looking around. We take the boat up to where we're going to start and then kind of drift down. And we see, a couple of herons are nice. And we saw a bald eagle.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to be out here on a nice day. Again, bluebird skies is not always what you want when fishing. But again, colder temperatures, it's not a bad thing. It's going to warm up nice. You're going to have some, hopefully more fish activity because of that heat. But to have the eagle, just it looked like it was on the ground and it took off, and Jesse and I are just kind of watching it, and it goes and lands in a tree not too far, just above us basically where we're fishing. And then it flies away again and, around the corner. And Jesse's like, look, there's another one.
Yeah.
So we not only saw one, we found a nesting pair of eagles. And it kind of seems like, again, it's a river system, so there is lots of food for them. But this spot specifically is just we can see in the shallow riffles and stuff, there's suckers all over. These things have amazing food. It's an amazing spot for them and totally picturesque. So I enjoy all of nature, and that's why you'll often have my interesting fishing facts being about, weird, creepy things or just random stuff that I stretch it to things that I see while fishing, not necessarily fishing related. But when seeing eagles, that's, like Jesse said before about ospreys or loons, they're another angling species of bird or fishing, they'll eat fish. And if they like this spot, it always gives me hope that
It must
I'll
be
like
a good
this spot too. Yeah.
Those birds are, even though they're bird brains, they're a lot smarter than us. Because their main job is catching fish. We just do it for fun.
Yeah.
If they don't catch fish, they die. If I don't catch fish, it's just a normal Saturday.
I just get depressed.
We took a day off work, so it is a weekday, which is something we like to do every once in a while because we're fishing a stretch of river that, it is popular. It does get fished quite a bit by people on the weekend. This time of year, when you get to the late fall and you have deer season and all that stuff, the angling does definitely shut down a bit, but there are still a lot of hardcore guys and girls that go out. And a lot of times, you're weekend anglers, right? You work during the week like us. But every once in a while, we like to take a day off and just relax and just fish this section or a river or even a popular lake and pretty much be by yourself out there. And it's quite nice. Fishing a lake that generally has a bunch of boats on it and you're by yourself. It's quite special.
Yeah. And even I know people might be thinking when this podcast comes out, it'll be a week later from today, recording date.
Yeah.
But like I said, we have plans. When you're listening to this, we'll be fishing the next day.
Yes.
If you're listening to the day it comes out on
We're
Sunday.
fishing early November. Yeah.
We're fishing early November. We have fishing trips planned for open water fishing into December.
Yep. For musky.
For musky, yeah. And there's lots of people, again, guys that are in the know or that are really passionate about, brown trout fishing or steelhead, winter steelheading. How many times have we in the past, how many times have you, Jesse, gone out in December?
On Christmas
or whatever,
Christmas
around
morning.
the Christmas break.
Yeah.
And gone steelheading.
Yep.
And
all
caught.
the time. Yep. And caught. Actually, that was one of me and Andrew's first river trips together back in the day. We went out Christmas morning.
Yep.
Just because we realized that no one would be out fishing, which was pretty much true. And we ended up catching a really nice steelhead.
Beautiful
on a popular pool, too. No one was there.
Yeah. So
nice.
if you are an angler and, let's say, I know most people, you drive by the marinas right now and they're full of just boats covered in blue tarps, right? Most people put their boat away. You look on a popular lake and you might see, one of every 10 docks at best still has a boat out. And I get it. People often have their boats for just summer activities and, just driving around and they want to, they're here. Oh, there's that eagle again, Jesse.
Oh, nice. We're not just making that up. It's actually there.
I have photos. They're poor quality, but I have photos. People bring their boats in because they want to be out there when the weather is nice. They can be on a t-shirt and shorts on the boat. But if you like fishing this time of year, and we've talked about it before, and we've had guests on that talk about it, the fall, late fall into winter can be absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
It may be different than what you expect. You're not fishing the same stuff that you are in the summer, perhaps. A lot of times the weed beds will have died. The ones you may be used to, you're not flipping frogs for bass, in the cold temperatures.
Andrew might.
But right now, in the fall, what happens is the fish become concentrated because they don't have 100% of the weed beds. They've got 10% of the weed beds left. And so all these fish that normally are big loners and stuff like that, they unfortunately, like much to their chagrin, learn how to share. And they all, these non-schooling fish are almost to the point of being schooled up on some of these last weed beds. And when you can find those locations on a lake, like I said, like Jesse said, there's not much fishing pressure this time of year because there's only hardcore people out. But I would recommend choose a species you want to go for, because there are still guys going for largemouth. And this is the time of year. If you want to break your PB and you want to use big baits for largemouth, like this is what guys are doing right now.
Yeah, big glide baits.
Yeah. I'm thinking like Brian, like I know last year he was just, how many over 5 or 6 pounds did he catch last year?
He caught a giant limit.
Yeah.
Brian, that's Halliburton Fishing Guide. I think he was fishing late October, early November.
Yeah.
Because I think bass season closes
mid-November, I think.
Mid-November, I think.
Second Saturday or something like that.
But yeah, he was smacking them. He was wearing a toque and gloves out there.
Yeah.
Fish are still biting. Obviously, it takes some know-how to do it.
Yeah.
And how many times have we gone out late fall when we just started getting into musky and just skunked? Many times.
Oh,
all the
especially
time.
musky, because we had not really an idea what to do.
Yeah, but the more you learn, the more you take in information, talk to people, go with a guide. We slowly pieced it together, and now we can go out with some confidence to catch a muskie this time of year and be pretty proficient at, trying to figure out what spots to do. You also have to think, muskie are still musky, right?
Yes.
You can find the best spots and have all the knowledge in the world, but it's still a muskie, and it's probably not going to be cooperating with you. They only bite when they want to bite, and that's at random times. When they want to, sometimes.
And it's going to be like uncomfortable, even just weather-wise. This morning, like I have 5 layers of clothes on right now, and it's not even that late in the year, but there's frost on the ground. Yes, the water is uncomfortable. You start handling a fish, your fingers go numb.
Yeah, my hands, after I took that fish out of the net and unhooked it, it's not even that cold today. It was a little chilly, though. My hands are cold.
Yeah.
But we have mitts or gloves.
Yeah, little tricks. I just get even just to help keep some of the heat, those cheap like work gloves, those really thin ones, and I'll cut the thumb off so I can still cast the bait caster. Like again, it's still above freezing. I think it's going to be a high of 9 or something today.
Yep.
But
the morning was pretty cold.
The morning was below freezing. Yeah. But again, like if you take some time to make sure you're prepared to do this, but start that learning process of fishing in the fall. Because I know in years past, or even today, or these days, if I don't go fishing often enough or a long period of time has passed, I start to get cranky. My wife has noticed it. We were actually talking about that yesterday. She's like, I can tell when your anxiety starts getting too high. And then she's been able to note that it's when I haven't been fishing frequently or recently. So fishing, people have often mentioned for mental health is fantastic, and it is. And it's, I would say, my main way to relax.
Absolutely.
And so, in years past, when I'd lose out in the summer fishing, I can't go bass fishing anymore. I can't just wet wade and go fishing wherever I wanted there because the water's too cold. And I'd wait and wait. And I'd wait sometimes 6 months before there's good enough ice to go ice fishing. And I would get cranky and terrible. This, like I said, it can be uncomfortable, but the rewards outweigh that uncomfortableness because I feel really relaxed after a day of fishing in the fall.
Yep.
Especially if you're, on a nice day like this. Like it's absolutely beautiful, and maybe the fishing isn't the best that day, or you're still learning and you didn't catch anything. It is absolutely gorgeous to be out here, and I feel absolutely relaxed by the end of the day. So that's something, again, like I know a lot of our listeners, they say, we recommend lures and like, oh, thanks, I had to buy all these lures. I have to do this. For some reason, people listen to what we say sometimes. I don't understand it, but sure. But if you enjoy fishing, try fall fishing, like late fall, even into early winter. Again, don't be dangerous about it. Like Jesse said, we have come prepared to make sure we're fishing a good location today in the Sports Pal. It is a very stable canoe. And again, we have lots of experience fishing with each other, so we're not freaking out when there's a fish in the side of the boat and leaning over and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Get yourself prepared so you can be as comfortable as you can and make use of this time of year because you can have some of the best fishing right now.
Absolutely. So getting back to a little bit about what we're doing today. Generally, when the water's really cold, like we said, the main baits we're going to toss are glide baits and dive and rise. That's probably one category. And then the other one is going to be rubber. And not yesterday, 2 days ago, I caught one on a KS Tackle Medusa. That's a classic rubber bait. It's a pull pause bait with 3 wiggly tails on it. Has a nice slow drop. Another one that we really like, and I've chucked a bit today, is the Water Wolf Lures Ratzilla. Mm-hmm. That's a big single tail rubber bait. And you just cast it out, count it down a little bit, and then pull your rod. The big twister tail in the back undulates. And then You reel in your slack and you pull it. And it's nice, slow, big profile. Looks like a super easy meal. But I say that one of the easiest baits to catch a muskie on, generally speaking, and Andrew will tell you this, is a big paddle tail swim bait.
Oh, yeah.
And the one that is probably one of the most popular and best producing swim baits of all time is the Water Wolf Lures Shadzilla. It's legendary.
Yes.
Like Mike's been making those. Mike and Mary at Water Wolf Lures have been making those for decades. And now there's the new solid body one. And that's the one Andrew caught his 50 and a half incher last year on.
Yep.
But even in the Kawarthas or Lake of the Woods, wherever you fish, not just on St. Clair, the 9.5 inch Shadzilla is a great bait. I'm actually fishing today the 9.5 inch one, but I'm fishing the SRS model, which is the slow roll version.
Mm-hmm.
It has slightly less weight in it, and apparently it's just slightly softer plastic. It was a really good tail kicking action at slow speeds. So when the water gets cold like this, like today we're at about 46 degrees, which isn't super cold. It sounds cold, but you can catch muskie well into like the high 30s for sure. I like fishing a swim bait like this, just casting it out, letting it sink a bit. We're in about 15 feet of water right now. I'll let it sink about 5 seconds, then I'll just slowly reel it in back to the boat. And you have that nice thump from the paddle tail, just calling the fish in, and a nice big profile. It's not too big. Like the 9.5, it's a sizable bait, but it's definitely not too big for any muskie. I've got tiny pike on them, like 20-inch northern pike. Just grab the thing, so don't have to worry about that.
I caught a bass on one.
Yeah. And the cool thing is with the Shadzilla is it has a lot of fish attracting power. Like fish come from far to come look at it. And it's definitely one of the top baits that we would recommend for big pike or basically big predatory fish like pike and muskie. I was fishing with Mike last year, and he caught a giant, like 29 or 30-inch walleye on the Shadzilla. It's pretty funny. He's like, look at the size of that thing. Just huge walleye. Absolutely gorgeous fish. But it's an easy bait, because all you have to do is chuck it out and reel it in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just use the countdown method. So you might say, I don't know, say we're in 15 feet of water right now. You might count it down 5 seconds, then start reeling it in. And if nothing, try a few casts at that depth. Try counting down 6 seconds and then start working your way down. The fish may be closer to the bottom. If they're not super active, they might not want to swim up to the surface to grab a bait. But this time of year, you'd be surprised, even though the water's cold, they will swim pretty far to grab a bait sometimes if they're in the mood.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like you think of right now, they're somewhat lethargic. I say that within reason, because again, they will move us slightly slower than they will in the midsummer. But they don't mind cold water, really.
They like it.
But so they might not be like as explosive by fast-moving baits. But if they have a slow-moving presentation that's coming by them, if they deem it as easy to catch, they're going to, because they want all the calories they can manage for this time of year, going into the even colder weather and whatnot. So they're going to be feeding on, with a nice slow presentation. You can pretty much toss anything, and if it's close by their head, they'll probably go for it.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Just looking through my bait box right now, trying to decide what to put on, and I just pull out a big Shadzilla, and I'm like, you know what? We're talking about it. I'm going to use it. We bring too many baits.
Yeah.
And we end up using the same few, right?
Yeah, I've been tossing a glide bait for a while. I got the Strike Pro Sure Glide.
Yep.
It's a nice, not like super heavy glide bait, but good action. It has a couple tails, so you can do a. What's it? Oh, snagged.
Oh,
got excited there, people, for a second.
He set the hook into a fish, but it just turned out to be a tree. That happens all the time with
Classic Andrew.
Classic Andrew.
At least you don't set the hook into rocks, right, Jesse?
Yeah, I do that. I straighten the hook out on a
We all
rock.
have our foibles. But yeah, I was using that Strike Pro guppy, which I've caught a couple pike on it.
Yeah.
Yet to catch a muskie yet on it, but again, I haven't caught muskie on most of the lures that I own. But I do enjoy it. Right now, I'm actually tossing the beaver bait in solid black.
That's the XL.
Yeah, the big one. So it's basically like articulated fly that you can cast on your casting gear, and you can exchange weights. So again, it's nice to be able to swap the weights out and fish it in some of the deeper holes, and then just quickly unscrew it and put on a lighter weight for some shallower water. But it's I'm still working on getting my follow / hopefully in the boat muskie today.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Yeah, I think what I also might try on shortly is going to be the new Savage Gear sucker.
Yeah,
with the big ribbon tail on it.
Yeah, the crosstail sucker.
Yeah,
they look pretty sick. I've seen a lot of guys on YouTube and Instagram slam fish on them.
So I'm excited. I'll try that today too at some point.
Yeah,
but yeah,
especially after we saw those suckers,
Match
the hatch. I'm using a Shadzilla, like the swim bait from Water Wolf Lures, and I'm using kind of like a carpy sucker pattern. It's called ginger carp. It looks pretty nice. But that Savage Gear sucker, it looks exactly like a sucker. I don't know if it makes a difference. I don't think muskie care that much, but it can't hurt, right?
They hit Bondi baits, and there is no hate to Bondi baits.
They're awesome.
They're awesome.
But they are just chunks of plastic.
Muskie hit Bondi baits, and they look like nothing.
Yeah. It's all about the reaction, right?
Yeah.
And the presentation. But we're always suckers for buying baits that look just like minnows and different bait, right? But I thought we could just talk quick about gear because we own a lot of gear. Actually, I was saying to Andrew, and Andrew's like, I have 5 musky rods now. And I was like, that's it? But we like to try new rods and reels and stuff. So we've come to use a lot of gear. But if it came down to it, Andrew, this time of year, and you could only have one power and length of rod, what would you get? And reel gear ratio?
I would get a 7-to-1 reel ratio, just because I find the 5-to-1 is slow. It can be great for like burning big bucktails or reeling in big bucktails just because it's like a winch. But for most applications, if you want to speed up your retrieve because you got to follow and really crank it into that first figure 8, it's hard to do with a 5-to-1. 7-to-1 is good. You can still retrieve any bait that I would want to use in the fall on it with comfort. And then for length of rod, I would say mainly it changes depending on the boat that I'm in. The canoe, I think having like 8.5, 9 foot would be great. Having a 10.5 foot in my boat, in a larger boat, is fantastic. So that I would range between 9 to 10 feet. But if I had to choose one, 9.5 would do. 9,
for sure.
And extra heavy.
Extra heavy. That's what I was going to say, the same thing. Like I've had rods from 7.5 to 9.5 feet long for musky rods. In the sports pal canoe or in a kayak, I would generally recommend a maximum of 8.5 feet.
Yeah.
You may be able to cast a longer rod, but if you're fishing solo and you're trying to scoop the fish into a net and you have a really long rod, it becomes a nightmare to try to get that fish into the net by holding the rod. 8 foot is really good. 7.5 and 8 foot is really good, but I am using an 8.5 foot now and it's totally fine because I've Andrew to scoop the fish for me. But in a bigger boat like Andrew's boat, we do like the 9.5 foot rods. It's easier to figure 8 off the side of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes casting and working baits a little easier. So we do like those, but extra heavy for sure.
Yeah.
If you're just getting into musky fishing and you're like, oh, that rod seems like a broomstick. Once you cast some of these baits that you fish in the fall that weigh, 8, 9, 10 ounces, an extra heavy is actually, it's not heavy at all.
And the other thing too is not so much like the weight of the bait itself may not be too much. Because you think of how much a bucktail, let's say, weighs.
Yeah.
Not that you're fishing bucktail. Like you might fish a bucktail this time of year depending on how the water temp is. But again, usually bucktails are pretty much done right now, I would say.
Yeah.
But again, as an example, that's not a heavy bait. You'd be looking around 3-4 ounces at most. And you try pulling a double 10 on a heavy action musky rod and you try and figure 8 it and you just feel like your rod's going to snap.
Yeah, your rod's it has too much flex.
So water resistance, especially on that figure 8, you'd want something that you can work your bait all the way to the boat, including that figure 8. So an extra heavy is usually, for most baits, 2-3 ounces. The tip may not load a whole lot, depending on the rod. Rod length, too, will determine how much, you can cast pretty light bait if you have a 10-foot extra heavy.
Yeah.
Versus an 8-foot extra heavy is going to be a much stiffer tip, usually. But you can still manage to cast some pretty light baits with a stiffer rod. That's why, for musky fishing, I would err on the side of stiffer rather than soft.
Too soft, yeah.
There's pros and cons. If you have a soft rod, you're less likely to have it throw the hook. But too soft a rod, and you might not be able to engage that hook.
You don't get the hooks in the mouth. Yeah, so that's one point too. So like for instance, say you're like, oh, I can chuck a big Medusa on a heavy rod. No problem, you can chuck it for sure. But if that muskie grabs the bait and you have to move all that rubber through its teeth with a heavy hook set to actually sink the hooks into his mouth, you will not get it through its mouth. Yeah. Like I've had that happen to me last year. I was chucking a Medusa. I set the hook on the fish. I had the fish on for probably 10 seconds and then it jumped and the hooks just flew out of its mouth because the hooks weren't actually past the barb in its mouth. So I'm like, I need a stiffer rod. So I got a stiffer rod, an extra heavy, specifically for like rubber fishing. And it's night and day difference. When you set the hook, it's an actual hook set. It's not, your rod doesn't flex too much. You have a nice stiff rod to get the hooks in. Because when a muskie bites down on a big rubber bait, a bulldog, a Medusa, its teeth sink into the lure. And it's just grabbing the lure because it thinks it's live. It's trying to hold down. So when you set the hook, you have to slide the bait through its mouth until the hooks engage in the mouth. Yeah. And if you can't do that, that fish is probably going to get off. And that 10,000 casts you just wasted on a fish to not get a good hook set in it. So definitely err on the side of stiffer. That's just my opinion from using many different rods. And like Andrew said, like right now I'm using a St. Croix Mojo Musky 8.6 extra heavy. It's rated 6 to 12 ounces, but I have no problem throwing a 3-ounce bait on this rod. No problem. I can throw a 3-ounce bait. Would I chuck a 12-ounce bait on this rod? Probably not. It's not stiff enough. I've probably gone 9-10 ounces, and that's as big as I'd go, really. That's the problem is we like to try a bunch of rods just to see how they work for us. And finally we settle on the rod we want. And we have all these extra rods in our closet. But that's okay. But anyway, we're going to sign off now. And we're going to start fishing. And we'll talk to you guys in a little bit. So we're going to sign off. Say goodbye, Andrew.
Toodles.
All right. So we are back. We are fishing a different area completely. We packed up the boat. That first area we fished, we pulled out what? It was a 37.5 incher.
Yep.
Not a huge muskie, but not a bad muskie at all. We packed up. We actually went to visit Mike from Waterwolf Lures. We were going to do a little interview, but we were pounding on his door. He was super busy because he's got muskie season now is in full swing. He's trying to get ready with orders. And
there's already the prep for all the shows coming in the spring.
Yeah.
He needs so much inventory.
Yeah. So he was really busy. So we just stopped to talk to him for a sec. We didn't have time to give him an interview. Plus he's shy. So, that's okay. So we decided we had enough time to shoot to another area. So we are fishing another area now. Still a river. And within a few minutes, Andrew actually bought a new lure. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, so I've been wanting one for a while, but we found they're kind of hard to find around Ontario. But it's the Dying Dog from Musky Innovations.
Yeah.
And it's a dive and rise like we talked about earlier. But this one is known for an extremely slow rise. And it's still fishable like 6 feet deep on the way back and without any additional weight. There's no weight kit that comes with it. But again, because it's got a wooden head, it would easily be modifiable to add one if you so chose. But I picked it up because I wanted one, especially for the fall. It's a fairly large, bigger bait.
14 inches long.
Yeah, but I wanted it for the fall just because they are... that's pretty much what they were designed for, to fish really slow, keep it in that strike zone for a long time, nice long pauses. So as soon as I fished with it a bit this morning, I was like, I love this thing. I want to catch on this year. I'm going to catch on it this year. For the second spot we stopped at today on this afternoon, this new stretch of river, I caught.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I was like, I wonder how I'm going to feel the bite, how they're going to hit this thing. And I just reeled in from the pause and just pulled back and there was just a muskie on. I'm like, excellent.
I like it when a plan comes together.
So yeah, it was 34 inches?
Yeah. Not a giant, but a beautiful fish.
Chunky. A nice, healthy fish.
Nice spots
really nice,
on it.
Yeah, nice patterning. So again, I was happy to, hey, a 2 muskie day is always a great day.
Absolutely.
And yes, there are bigger ones in the river that we're fishing, but it's a fairly small river. So, a fish like that is
it's a good size.
Still a good size.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was not expecting, I never go out expecting to catch a 40 plus. That's always just nice when it happens. But I was hoping to catch something in the, mid 30s range and I did.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased with myself today.
Yeah. And we've had a great day today. The sun's just going down now, so it is starting to get a bit chilly. It's been a beautiful day. Nice bright blue skies, little bit of wind. Hopefully you can't hear it too much on the audio, but a little bit of wind, but it's in general just been a nice sunny, beautiful day.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 muskie in the net. That's amazing.
And we've only had 5 coffees.
Yeah. Well, at least we're going to get at least 2 more on the way home. Let's be serious.
So yeah, it's been, and again, this is a day that we took off of work. Sometimes you got to make a bit of a sacrifice, but this was absolutely well worth it. I needed to relax, and this was a great day.
Yeah, my arm's going to hurt tomorrow because I'm chucking some big rubber today. Not too big, only about, 9 ounces. Those bass guys, they hear 9 ounces. They're like, wow. Musky guys are like, oh, so the medium one. But no, it's been a great day. I thought just for a little bit, we could talk about, me and Andrew were talking about up on the way fishing. We always, talk on the way up to our fishing trips, usually about fishing, obviously.
Yep.
But Andrew's really excited about his new boat and just rigging it up. So maybe we could talk a little bit about some of the setup that we're going to do in the next few days, getting ready for our musky trips this late fall.
Mm-hmm. And this is no longer talking about, repairs and stuff like that. This is prepping for the actual fishing. But yeah, we want to get some good rod holders. We're not sure if we're going to have it ready for this coming weekend, but with musky season, something that Jesse and I haven't done a lot of is trolling. but it's something that we would like to do more of, especially on those really cold days when casting is almost impossible.
Or just super uncomfortable, yeah.
So if we're trolling, we can just have a little buddy heater between us, warming up our hand as they're just motoring along. But there is some prep work, especially for like musky trolling specifically. And again, so with the new boat, we actually have the sport track system that comes on a lot of the Lund boats. It's a 45 degree. Mine has the 45 degree sport track, and it's really nice because you're able to attach mounts like a Scotty mount or any. You can get bases, like an aluminum bracket that will bolt onto the rack. You can put whatever on, but you can then move that around wherever you want on the outside edge of your boat. So it's really versatile if you want to have like a rod, right beside where you're steering, or someone's sitting in the back, you can have it in the back, all that stuff.
Yeah. No, it is cool. We picked up some of the metal brackets. We saw some plastic ones, but you know what? When it comes down to it, especially when you're fishing for musky, metal's usually the way to go.
Yeah. You want as little to go wrong as possible. Same reason why Jesse always puts on his super sharp BKK hooks on his musky baits, is because you finally get that strike. You don't want things to go wrong. There's so much that the fish will make go wrong that you got to combat with while you're trying to land it. You don't want your gear to start malfunctioning as well.
Yeah. They always say that there's so many things that can go wrong when you're fishing, and only one has to go wrong for you to lose a muskie.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you have good split rings, good hooks, good leaders, good line, and don't have rod holders that are possibly made of plastic and will break.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one of the things that we're going to be having use of this fall and in the next few weeks. But something else that we're prepping for trolling is going to be what we're wearing. Like we said, today was beautiful, but like, what are you planning to wear, especially with a bigger boat? Jess and I kind of talked about this earlier today, just with ourselves. But like, what are you planning on wearing next week and going into like November, December?
Yeah, so going into November, I'm legit wearing a full thermally insulated work overall and jacket set. Pretty much like, it's not a floater suit like an ice fishing suit, but it's pretty much like a full bib and jacket that's super warm. And I just picked it up. We had some. I wanted to get a new one, just something that fit a little better. But you need something that's warm. Because it gets, like right now, again, like Andrew said, it's nice. As soon as the sun starts going down, like right now, it's starting to get a little chilly. My hands are a little bit cold.
Yep.
But once you start fishing in November, the whole day is like that. And at night, it gets worse. So you need to dress warm. Like Andrew will even wear his ice suit.
Yeah.
Like his full-out ice fishing
I'm going to
suit.
wear again, because I'll have space. On a canoe, it can be quite cumbersome.
Yeah.
Just because it's filled with the padding and stuff like that.
And the insulation and the flotation foam, right?
Now, again, it does not act as a PFD, as a life jacket kind of thing. So you still are required to have, at minimum, life jackets on board if you are wearing a float suit in the colder temperatures. Obviously, ice fishing, you don't require a life jacket, but a float suit is very safe. It's helps with safety, but yeah, if you're on a boat, you still require a life jacket. Just a little aside, but yeah, I'm gonna be wearing my full-on like striker float suit because I'd rather be comfortable. Another thing too is, like we talked about, I think earlier today, was I have those little gloves with the thumb cut off, and that's nice for like casting. You still have some dexterity to change baits and whatnot, but for driving the boat, as soon as you're picking up speed, even in the canoe, like I got chilly this morning, so I had to put on like my rain suit just because it has wind resistance on it. It was blowing right through my like 4 layers of jackets. But driving that boat, I need my hands on the steering wheel, and I'm gonna be wearing legit like my winter gloves, like gloves/mitts. I'm not messing around. When I am actually driving around, you want actual stuff. And even for the passengers, if you're joining someone else in the boat, it's so much more comfortable to have the right gloves, because your fingers, as soon as they stop, get too cold and start slowing down, you're not going to be able to, fish as effectively than if they're actually functioning at their best. So even if you're a passenger on a boat, like make sure you bring in some nice proper actual winter gloves, not fall gloves, winter gloves.
Yeah, you need to dress much thicker and heavier and warmer than you think.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because you won't last, and it'll be miserable. Mm-hmm. Some of the best fishing is in the most uncomfortable weather and circumstances. So make sure you're dressed nice and warm, and obviously be safe. Again, we're fishing in Andrew's boat, which is a large, deep V Lund in ice cold water. Not saying you need a boat that big to fish water like that. But at the same time, don't be going out there in your, your sports pal canoe like we're doing today. If the water's like, in the 40s
Yeah.
and you're not dressed properly for it, if you fall in, like we said before, you will die. And that's not good.
Yeah.
No fish is worth your life, even a 50-inch muskie.
I know it's crazy to say because some people might argue with that, but
Yeah.
as one who's caught one, I'd rather still be alive and not caught that than be dead right now.
It's true.
Is there anything else that you're prepping for fishing in the bigger boat and the colder temps going forward, Jesse?
No, I think you covered that, but I do agree having the buddy heater too is good because
Any
even
advantage
if
you
you're
can get to
dressed
staying warm.
even if you're dressed warm though, like say you release a fish, your hands are wet.
Yeah.
You need a nice towel
Yes.
to dry your
as soon as
hands
you
off.
said that.
Because as soon as your hands get wet, especially if it's like minus, 1 outside or something like that, or even like in the single digits, your hands get, your fingers get stiff. It's not cool. I'm sure anyone that's fished in like cold weather or ice fishing, they know that. But yeah, definitely have a towel and even bring a buddy heater like we have. If you can bring that on your boat to warm up your hands, I absolutely would do that. And
Obviously,
I will next week.
And we're not going to have it running while we're ripping
No,
across
because
the
that
lake.
doesn't make sense.
Because we don't want it to fall over and stuff like that. But yeah, if we're just casually rolling around and it's not on crazy waves, we can have that going, especially for trolling, just nice and slow. Just have your hands warming up between your legs or something.
Yep.
It's going to be cozy. Make some coffee, bring a thermos.
Yes. Drink coffee or hot tea or hot water even. Just get some hot water in your body.
Yeah.
But like we were saying before, like Andrew said, this is some of the best fishing of the year.
Yeah.
If you are prepared for it. It will be terrible if you're not prepared for it.
Yeah, and another thing to keep in mind too, because even as soon as you started fishing this stretch of river this afternoon, thankfully Jesse remembered when we were still at the car, but he's like, "Oh, you got to grab the flashlight because fishing into the dark, it gets dark so much sooner here, and it'll creep up on you too. So if you have, especially if you're not on unknown waters, but make sure you have your navigation lights on the boat, but also some way to actually navigate your boat, not just the safety little beacon on the back or whatever. If you're especially on unknown waters or with this river, you can easily not remember exactly which bend or where that tree is in the water and stuff like that. So take your time, never rush, but it's all things to keep in mind. But like we said, there's so much rewarding benefits you can get from this that I wouldn't have it any other way. I have to fish all this fall.
Yes.
I'll go crazy if I don't.
Problem is that you say fall fishing, but it's literally like
Winter.
early winter. Feels like it anyway. I know it's not winter until December 21st or something, but when you're fishing in like mid-November on, it's pretty much winter. Like last year, I was fishing the first week of December and it was snowing and we were catching muskie.
Yep.
But it was nuts. It was snowing and there was ice on our rods and it was madness. But guess what? We caught fish. We caught 4 fish that day. It was absolutely crazy. And guess what? There wasn't a single boat on the lake that day. 0. Just us. So thanks for putting your boats away early. But if you want to catch fish though, don't do it. I know some people, like we said, they have to put away their boats. You got to get it ready to go for next year.
Yeah.
But if you're a hardcore angler, I would seriously consider maybe not going into December, but at least tackling November.
Yeah.
Try it out, see how you like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're just fishing this river here. We're fishing a little deep section. A nice little section where it gets skinny, and then it drops down to about 18 to 20 feet of water, which is pretty impressive for this area. What is that, a beaver?
That's a beaver swimming across
Oh,
there.
nice beaver swimming across. I better put on my beaver bait. Better match the hatch. But it's a nice little pool we're fishing. And right now we're in about 12 feet of water. There's a bit of weeds on the side. And what we're doing is we're casting up to shore and kind of working our bait slowly back towards deeper water. Because I feel like today, a lot of times people think that the muskie are deep this time of year when it gets cold. And that's oftentimes true. But oftentimes they come up shallow to feed. And that's what we noticed today. Most of the fish that we've caught have been in relatively shallow water.
Yeah, caught or seen, right?
Yep. So we're kind of targeting that area. That's kind of the pattern of the day. You should always do that. Figure out what's going on and then do that. If you see muskie shallow, why would you fish deep? So we're kind of doing that. We're hoping to get another bite, but even catching 2 muskie in one day is absolutely, I love it. It was a good day.
Yeah.
Plus we got to see Mike Waterwolf Lures, who is, as we say, the friendly uncle of muskie fishing.
And he is working hard. Yeah, he's working on, I can't say it, but he's working on some
New stuff.
as well, which I'm not going to spoil it, but it looks awesome.
You already spoiled it.
Well, we knew it's from Mike. It's going to look awesome.
Yeah.
Just like the solid body Shadzillas that were out. You have the juniors. You got the juniors are out now this year.
Yep.
They're amazing. Like
Yep.
I'm actually throwing one right now on a little bladed arm, and yeah, I love the junior for multi-species thing. But yeah, he's got a couple new baits, and I'm excited to start using them later.
Absolutely.
But this is a paid promotion, so that's enough about Mike.
No, but as we always say, it's the best if you can support locally made companies like Micah Waterwolf Lures, who make some of the best musky lures in the world. Absolutely. Proven. Good quality stuff made right here in Ontario. So anyway, that's enough about Mike. He's probably just blushing in his shop right now. I guess just a few trips that we have planned left in the year. Like today, it's late October. We do have a trip next week, as Andrew said. And we're going to fish one of my favorite lakes. Andrew's never been there. I've been there more than a few times. Actually caught 2 fish there 2 days ago. 2 nice musky.
Yeah.
Not big ones, but beautiful fish on glide baits and medusas.
I call it No Telly Lake.
Yeah.
As in, we're not telling you.
I don't even tell Andrew. I'm going to blindfold him and make him drive his truck there.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a good trip. We took another day off work. We took 2...
Oh, that's a big one. That's
Holy crap.
Oh, Jesse just had a strike on his glide.
No, he missed it completely.
Yeah.
He swam at it.
He
came
boiled
up,
on top of it.
and then he saw us and swam right under the boat.
Oh, he went past the
Oh,
bait and then
man.
came right up to the
I got
side
the
of
heart
the canoe.
pounding.
That was a thick fish.
That was that looked high 30s maybe.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Wow. Such great visuals on an audio podcast.
We didn't just make that up either. It's funny, my brother-in-law just texted me because I caught a 37-inch muskie this morning. And then I remember telling him the other day I was trying to catch a 40 this weekend. He
Yeah.
just texted me, he's like, congrats on your muskie. Only 3 inches to go. Thanks. My brother-in-law's hilarious. He's a comedian. Oh, that was exciting. That's the thing with muskie fishing. It's long periods of nothing and very short moments of excitement.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that excitement led to no hooks and a fish, but that was cool.
I'm going to switch back to my diving rise just because.
Yeah, we'll come back to that spot in maybe a few minutes on our way back. But the thing is, I guess just to go on with the fall. Oh, did you see that?
Yeah.
There. Oh, fish.
Yes. Yep. All right. All right. I'm putting my rod
No,
away.
he got off. Oh, he was on.
That was a good one, man. And it's right here in the major, too.
Yep, we're right on the major. There's 2 fish in like 2 minutes. Oh,
I saw the huge boil beside
yeah.
that.
I guess he didn't get the hooks. That sucks. Oh, guys, man, this is pure entertainment for only me and Andrew. You guys are just listening to this.
You're listening to this and being like, oh, on my way to work. I can't fish.
This particular spot is it's a hard spot to get into where we're fishing. It does get fished, obviously, but it's not heavily pressured. As you can tell, we just saw 2 muskie in about 2 minutes. And I don't think that was the same one either because it was pretty far away. But anyway, as I was saying before that fish rudely interrupted me, you have to be persistent in the fall, especially when you're muskie fishing. Muskie are hard fish to catch.
Yes.
And unless you're fishing like Detroit River or St. Clair where it's like they're everywhere, sometimes you will go days without seeing a fish. Don't lose faith. Keep going. Eventually you will run into a fish if you're fishing good areas. And in the fall for us, like today, it's not late fall yet. We'll come back to this spot, Andrew.
Yep.
I'm just going to go up there.
I'm still like casting behind us. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I saw a fish.
Yeah. But if you're just getting into muskie fishing in the late fall, a lot of big muskie they start going to their wintering holes or areas near where they're going to winter. So those deep holes in your lake are going to attract a lot of muskie. Now, you want to look for deep holes near steep and deep break lines. So if you can find a deep hole beside a thick weed line that goes up to an island or something, that is going to be a high percentage spot.
Yes.
From my experience. And again, I'm not like an expert muskie guide or anything, but that's what I found and that's what's worked for us so far. If you can find a nice rocky island near a deep hole or a weed line or something like that near deep water access, those are the areas you want to fish. Now, if you're fishing that area deep, they may be deep, but if not, check shallow. I remember we had Travis from Court the Fishing Guide on, and he said he always checks shallow, even in December. When I went fishing with him, we were fishing in 3 or 4 feet of water to start. And guess what? We caught a fish that shallow in December. So don't think that you have to be fishing deep and jigging and doing all this stuff. If it's a nice sunny day, the fish, they definitely could be shallow. So check it out. Like today, all the fish that we've had on have been in shallow water.
Yeah.
Now the water is still, it's about 48 degrees here, so it's not super frigid. But even as the year goes on and the water gets even colder, dropping down into the 30s, fish will still come shallow to feed. They will always be near the food, right? And the food comes up shallow. The muskie
Yes.
will be following.
Yes.
I'm mad I just missed 2 fish in a row. There's one.
There's a third.
There's one. He's on.
Yep. I'm reeling in. I just cast.
Oh, it's not a big one, but...
So this is the kind of thing, we have good communication. My rod's down, I'm sitting down.
Andrew's taking his sweet old time getting the net. I think that's the same one as before. He's not hooked super good.
Okay, I'm ready with the net.
Okay, I'm going to bring him up. You ready?
Yep. And in the bag.
And you can hear the splashing noise, so you
Yes,
know we're not making it up.
So welcome on our podcast, your new special guest. What do you have to say for yourself?
He's just disappointed that he got tricked by a glide bait. So the lure that I've had the last 3 fish attack has been the Chaos Tackle Slim Shum.
Yep.
Which is a 7.5-inch glide bait. I got the black one, has little white stripes on the side. Orange twister tail on the back. Gives it that really cool little, twisting action. Oh!
Jesse's getting
He is
soaked.
not happy. He's spraying cold water all over me.
Yeah.
Remember Andrew said about, dressing with waterproof layers?
Yes.
It's not necessarily for the rain. It's for when the muskies splash all over you. He did the death roll in the net, so I'm going to have to cut some of these hooks. But this is a good time that we can talk about proper musky handling and catch and release procedures. So right now, I'm just going to describe it. Obviously, it's an audio podcast. You can't see anything. Mm-hmm. But I have a very large net strapped across the side of the canoe right now, or your boat. And the fish is in the water.
100%. Actually, I'm in front of the boat, and I cannot see the fish right now. He's sitting in the bottom of that basket.
It's a super deep net, so the fish is sitting deep. He's got he's got the bait still in his mouth, but that's fine. He's in the water. He's done thrashing around for a bit, I hope. Now I can look down. I'm calm. Mm-hmm. I can look down and be like, okay, I have all my tools here. Got my pliers in my hand. I got cutters ready to go.
Me and Jesse are not both leaning over, all excited. We can get in the net, and we just...
Now I'm looking in the net here, and I can see what's going on. I'm like, okay, the front hook is completely in his mouth. The back hook is not in his mouth. Good. That's good. So I don't think I'm going to have to cut a hook. But if I had to, no problem. I would cut a hook. So I'm reaching down. He's being a good boy right now. I'm kind of grabbing onto his head.
This is always the point in time where I'm like, if that thrashes, Jesse has a 5/0 hook in his thumb.
Yeah. Okay, and he's unhooked.
Beauty.
He's actually biting the net right now. Ow.
So now what we try and do is, the net is big enough most of the time, unless the bait's caught right in the bottom of the basket. We can get the fish is back in the water, and we can just kind of have the bait that's still tangled in the net, and we'll just work on the actual netting, getting that bait out of it, and then we aren't going to risk snagging that fish if it thrashes in the net again or something like that.
Yeah, we want to get the bait out of the net, which oftentimes...
That's when Jesse cuts the hooks. He's like, came out of the musky, and now it's in my net.
Yeah. I've had some pretty bad experiences with musky just rolling in the net, and it took literally 10 minutes to get a bait out of the net. This net has a nice mesh, so it came out easy.
Beauty.
Yep, that's good. That's fish number 3 on this glide bait. I'm really happy with it. Again, it's the Chaos Tackle Slim Shum. Oh. And then also during this part is very important. Don't let the fish jump out of the net, because that would suck. All right.
So now I got all our lures. We're not, again, with the fish still in the net, we like to put our bait aside away, so we're not going to, if the fish flops again, we're not going to have open hooks around, or we're going to hook ourselves.
Yeah.
So now we're going to grab Jesse's phone.
Yeah, we'll take a few pictures.
Some photos.
I'm just going to wait. He's thrashing around a little bit. It's a nice spotted musky. What would you say that is?
I'd say that's probably
you know
34.
What?
We're on the same.
We might bump this one just to see how big it is. Just a quick bump.
Yep.
I know a lot of guys are like, oh, you shouldn't bump small fish, but you know what?
We got the bump board here on board. So
I'll bump it in about 5 seconds.
As Jesse bumps it, I'll take a couple photos of the camera. We can have record of our fish then.
33 3/4.
Beauty.
All right.
That's like pretty much the same size as mine.
I think it's the same fish, Andy.
Yeah. No, mine left scarred and beaten.
All right, ready for a quick pick? He's in the water now. I have him in the water.
Yep.
So now he's up for a quick pick.
The lighting is absolutely perfect right now, too.
A few quick shots.
Yep. Pictures are done.
Back in the drink. Fish was out of the water for probably, less than 10 seconds?
And our nice video of release.
And this is the part where I get splashed. Whoa!
That's the part you're going to see on Instagram.
And that is how you catch a muskie with AOA. That's crazy. 3 fish, though.
3 fish.
I don't know if that was one of the same, but 2 of those were different for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to start casting again.
Yep, absolutely. So
Let me get turned around carefully.
I'm glad that you guys were here to experience that, sort of, or listen to it. Here, put this nut just on top like this.
Yep.
So it's ready to go. We're going to keep talking a little bit. I'm actually going to change baits. I know this crazy as it is, but me and Andrew, when we catch a fish on a bait, oftentimes we're dumb and we're like, you know what? Let's try something new. And I've already caught 2 fish today on this bait. So I'm going to try something different.
Well,
Even though it's
musky
been
river fishing
working.
is hard, and I have something that works. Let's play its expert mode now.
Yeah. So I do have this other bait that I've had many follows on this year, but no fish have actually committed to it. It's the KS Tackle Navin Diving Rods. It's a 10-inch diving rise bait. It's a wooden bait. It's a walleye color. And I've had several fish follow it this year, big ones. I had a big 44, 45-incher follow it about 2 weeks ago, but it would not touch it. It came all the way to the boat. So I'm going to see if I can get a fish today to do it. I hope you guys are liking this episode. It's a little bit different, but it's something that I've had more than a few people request.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope the audio is not too crazy, but we're kind of hoping on doing something like this in 2026. Kind of like a little fishing show, but we'll have video as well.
Yeah.
And we can
And
take
with a
you guys
larger boat,
along
that'll
on our
be
fishing adventures so you guys know that we're not complete posers. We actually do catch fish sometimes. Today, 3 musky. That's pretty good.
That's really good.
Biggest one was a 37.5.
Yep.
Andrew's was 34.
So we landed 3, had 5 strikes, and saw 6
Yeah,
musky.
it's not bad.
That's not a bad
Again,
day
we're
at
fishing
all.
a very productive stretch. It's one of my favorite areas to go. Just beautiful. It's a river. Again, we're fishing in a sports pal canoe, which again gives us the advantage of being able to fish some of these small creeks. But this river isn't tiny. You know, you could definitely put a boat in here, and people do. Just no one's out here today.
You might lose your bottom end, but
Yeah, it's fine.
you could get a boat in here.
Absolutely. Now, finding little creeks like this with musky in them are not impossible, but a lot of people are very tight-lipped. And again, we're not going to be telling you exactly where we're fishing, but you can find spots like this in a lot of places. There's more than a few rivers that we fish in the Sports Pal that have musky in them and that we've caught musky in. So it's not impossible to find them. And again, we're not genius map hunters,
Yeah.
but we
The easiest
drive
way
around
is,
and find spots.
Yeah, if you know of a let's say a lake that has musky in it,
Yeah.
and you can see a river that's joining between it and another lake, try fishing the river. Oftentimes you'll have access to maybe a more sheltered area that will still have maybe smaller spots. Maybe they're not hit as hard because a lot of the bigger boats will probably stay on the bigger water. But you can, fish some of that. The muskie, they move around all the time. We've seen studies of up, between the Otto River and up into Algonquin and stuff like that. They have some studies of muskie just traveling like kilometers and kilometers through rapids,
Up
lakes.
rapids, back down rapids, all in 1 year.
Yeah, in 1 year. So they move
Seasonal
around.
movement.
They roam.
Yeah.
So, don't think that, the muskie just stay in the lake only always. Sometimes you might catch the muskie. Maybe they're on the move when you're catching them and they're, in that river. But oftentimes there's going to be a couple holes at least. You'll find some deep spots, and that has enough forage and food and shelter to hold a muskie.
Exactly.
Perhaps year round, but at least maybe for like a season,
Yep. And if you can find a river that has some nice deep holes, not the whole river,
Yeah.
but some deep holes around the edges and the corners, there probably will be muskie in there. Again, like Andrew said, if it's attached to a lake that has muskie in it, which again is easy information to find.
Yes. See, now I have to catch another muskie to make it even now.
Yeah. See, with Andrew and me, we've been fishing together so long, we just hate on each other until we catch the same amount of muskie. If he catches one instantly, I'll be like, why did that idiot catch one? Then I'll catch one, he's like, how did that idiot tie with me?
Yeah. We've been fishing together for 20 years now.
Over
20
Yeah.
years. Yep.
Anyway, we're going to kind of wrap this up because we have about 20 minutes left of daylight.
Yeah.
And we're just going to go hardcore, just casting baits like a samurai that... Was that a fish?
I bumped something.
Ho, ho, ho. Andrew bumped a log and he thought it was a fish. Surprisingly, the fish today are pretty active.
Yeah.
We were kind of going in today thinking it wouldn't be as good because it was bluebird skies, but it's been really good. So don't let that dissuade you in the fall if it's bluebird skies, because sometimes that extra heat from the sun really turns the fish on.
Mm-hmm.
In the summer, death. In the winter, good. So anyway, Andrew, what's the quote of the week this week?
Quote of the week. I know what I'd like it. Oh, that was a snag.
Oh, he set the hook like it was a 50-inch. It was just a
I'm
stick.
surprised there's a branch out there.
Was that the quote of the week?
Maybe it is. I was going to say what I'd like the quote of the week to be is, There's another one.